Hi, this is Jeff Podlasek with Toad DB2 Development. Today I'm going to demonstrate some new features that we added to Toad for DB2 version 6, in particular the space prediction features for DB2 LUW and DB2 for ZOS. I've got Toad up and running, and I've got several database explorers open. This first one here is connected to a DB2 LUW database, and these next two are connected to a DB2 ZOS subsystem. On this first tab for DB2 LUW, I'm going to select multiple tables, right-click, and select Space Management, View Space History. And as you see, a new Space History tab opens up. We've redesigned this tab to have a date selection controller on the top half. So if you want to limit the amount of data that you're viewing, you could use this date controller to do so. And now the bottom half displays the data of the objects that you've selected when you entered this tab. You could use the control button to select multiple objects and or the shift button as well. And when you select these multiple objects on the lower left-hand side, you'll see that the historical information is graphed on the lower right-hand side. Now when you select a single object with the version 6.0 of Toad, you'll be able to select the prediction checkbox. And what this does is allows you to predict out to a future date or to a future size limit. If I choose date here, I could bring up a calendar and then scroll through and select a future date where I want Toad to predict the size of this table on that certain date. So you can see that the original history records end, and then the prediction graph or line is highlighted there. Another thing that we did to this control is we changed what objects you would want visible. So by default, it brings up tables and indexes because that's what you've entered this document with. But if you wanted to change the view to select table space, you could do so. So now the table space is total space and free space is graphed, and you could predict that as well. You could display a regression line or not. And if you check prediction, just like with tables, you could select a custom date. The date will be a date to the future. So you could say I want to predict the table space size up until that date, and you can see that the total space is increasing in the future where the free space is decreasing in the future. And again, that's based off of historical records and then calculations that we make. Now for DB2 ZOS, we've added the same prediction features. So if you have a table or an index or a table space selected, and you select the Space Usage tab on the right-hand side, the Table Growth tab will display historical information as it has in past releases. However, here again, you'll see a Prediction tab. So if you wish to predict the growth of a particular object out to the future, you could select a date and a future date, and you'll see that the graph gets updated to reflect the prediction of the amount of space that that object is going to consume on that future date. And the same holds true for DB2 ZOS table spaces. If you select a table space, on the right-hand side, there's a Space Usage tab. You select Table Space Growth, and you'll be able to see the historical growth of that table space, as well as be able to predict out the growth of that table space to a future date. Very handy tool for DBAs to see and analyze what their space requirements will be for the future.